and specifically you are confused about the resources, that which particular resource, one such confusion arises in our mind, that what should be our approach with respect to referring to these particular NCERTs, which makes the base of our entire preparation. Then there may be certain other advanced materials, but it should not be just reading of NCERTs, it should be for the identification of theme. In order to understand that area, the syllabus understanding is very important. ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि everything has to be noted down. So in the second reading, you are trying to cover Maratha as a theme. Now from whatever you are thinking important, you just highlight. Do not write. Hello everyone, I am Vishal Salsekar, and today we are going to discuss about a dilemma that when you are beginning with your preparation, and specifically you are confused about the resources, that which particular resource you should rely upon when you are starting your preparation. So at that point of time, one such thing or name comes to your mind is the NCERTs. But when we talk about NCERTs, whether it is from the class 6th to class 12th, one such confusion arises in our mind that what should be our approach with respect to referring to these particular NCERTs, and also after referring to these NCERTs, how can we make the effective utilization of these NCERTs? Because at the end of the day, the exam is the UPSC Civil Services examination, and there is nothing like that they are asking the question from the NCERT or from any other resources. The question will be asked in a thematic manner. So in the today's quick discussion, we are going to discuss regarding in what manner you should be approaching to the NCERTs, right? So when you are talking about the NCERTs, so there are two dilemmas that we are going to discuss in our today's discussion. One is regarding the approach of referring to the NCERT, and other is regarding the notes making, right? So if I ask you that how many of you have started already with referring to the NCERTs, or I can ask that for any specific one subject you have referred to the all NCERTs which are relevant from the UPSC's perspective, right? So in case if you have already referred to the NCERTs for any specific subject, whether it is the geography or whether it is the modern history or any specific other aspect, one such confusion that might be occurring in your mind is what should be our approach. Because when we talk about the NCERTs, let's say we can take the example of this pyramid. So at the foundation of this particular pyramid, it is the NCERT, which makes the base of our entire preparation. After that, there may be certain other value add materials. Then there may be certain other advanced materials, which might be certain other books which will be providing you the analytical depth to whatever you are reading. And then there will be certain things like, let's say, the current affairs integration, right? So this is the UPSC preparation schema. But you cannot forget about the base of your UPSC preparation, because hota kya hai ki if you are forgetting your base regarding this preparation of the UPSC examination, in that case, if it is remaining weak, in that case you will be struggling in your entire preparation with respect to basics. Now UPSC generally asks a lot of questions regarding the basics, but in those cases where our concepts are not very much clear, or we do not have an idea regarding this was already covered in the NCERT, in that case we struggle with those particular questions in the actual examination. So what should be our approach regarding referring to the NCERTs in a proper manner? So that particular approach, let's have a brief discussion about that. So as I am taking here the history and the associated aspects along with the international relations, let's take the example from the history NCERT, right? So suppose karo, if I am starting my preparation right now, and if I am confused that which particular NCERT should be referred to, one such thing comes to my mind is the class 6th to class 12th NCERT that I have to refer to. Now I'll go to the NCERT website, I'll download the class 6th NCERT, I'll skim through the prelims which is mentioned, where there is the entire syllabus is being provided. Now from the class 6th to class 8th, till class 8th roughly, there will be the social sciences that is covered in one comprehensive book. whether it is the history, whether it is polity, whether it is geography, whether it is basic economy, that is covered in one book only. But from the class 9th onwards, you will be having the separate things. For example, there will be introduction of polity also. There will be introduction of economy also comprehensively. Then already there is history going on, right? So history is there. There is also geography related aspects. But already certain things you might have all referred to in the class 6 to the 8th NCERT. That's why when we say that those NCERTs are not important, I will say no. They are also equally important. But the approach to refer to is basically you have to ensure that you should not be taking everything from those books. Now what you should do, first thing you should be adopting is the single reading without notes making. In that case, what you should be doing, you should just be reading the NCERTs, but it should not be just reading of NCERTs, it should be for the identification of theme. What is the theme identification? For example, go to the syllabus of UPSC, and if you are still confused at how to find the UPSC syllabus, go to the blogs that are available at the VisionIAS website. Go to the blogs, there is a detailed description regarding GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4 syllabus. That breakage of that particular syllabus is being provided, and that will guide you that which particular thing will come under which specific section. For example, history. So in history, what do we mean by that? Roughly mid of the 18th century, roughly till the 1857, what does this particular line exactly means? Then the rise of nationalism, then the Indian freedom movement. So what all things you can expect under that tentative thing is being provided to you. So once you have referred to the syllabus, that is the primacy thing, that is a non-negotiable thing, that the syllabus has to be referred to. So before even reading of NCERT, the syllabus has to be referred by you. Once you read the syllabus, now start reading the NCERT. Now here do not focus upon making any specific notes, just read the NCERT. Once you will reading the NCERT, once you will start reading the NCERT, you will be encountering with the themes that you might have already read in the syllabus. So in those cases, what you can do, you can make either the digital or hard copy tables. In those tables, what you can map? You can map the NCERT. Here what you can write about the chapter of NCERT and then specific thing. For example, let's say Maratha. Let's say revolt of 1857. Let's say tribal revolts. Right. So for example, these particular things you have identified in class 8 NCERT. Now what you should be doing in the tabular format where you are collating the things with respect to history, under that particular history section based upon your syllabus pointer 1, syllabus point 2, like this, these particular things has to be mentioned. So where this Marathas will go to the regional powers after decline of the Mughal Empire. So the rise of regional powers or 18th century India, because at that point of time Marathas rose to the prominence, right? So when you will read the chapter about Maratha, eventually entire things with respect to them you will read, which is important from the basics perspective. But then you have to also simultaneously note down this, that history section, syllabus point 1, that roughly 18th century history, there this class 8 NCERT chapter number this. So that will be making a mental memory as well as the physical idea regarding next time when I am going to refer the NCERT in a thematic manner, which particular NCERT for which topic I have to refer to. For example, again, when you will read class 12th NCERT, now the class 12th NCERT mein theme 3 mein you will again encounter with the topics like this. Marathas will again be there, the revolt of 1857 will be there, tribal revolts will be there. So when you will be reading that topic again syllabus point 1 mein you will refer to that class, pehle yahan par ho gaya class 8th NCERT, then again class 12th NCERT. Now for all the subjects in the first reading of NCERT, you are going to follow this particular approach. Now, once you will be following this approach, by the time you are coming to the class 12th NCERT, and see, all the NCERT need not to be referred. All means generally the NCERT pertaining to the topics of syllabus, only those particular things has to be referred to. Okay, so in that case, class 6 to 8th में it will be the social sciences NCERT, 9th to 9th and 10th में it will be roughly around like polity, economy, geography, history. Those will be separated, right? In that also certain things will be overlapping, certain things will be extra. So that will give you an idea regarding what are the syllabus pointers. Now this particular thing is sorted in the form of this. For example, similar table will be there for geography, similar table will be there for polity, similar table will be for economy, maybe art and culture. So like this, you will be making different tables. Now this is the decoded format of your syllabus. This will be your mastery with respect to the syllabus. Now once you have segregated this in this particular manner, now you know what are your references. Now when you will start doing the second reading, so in the second reading of the NCERT, now keep all the similar content with you. For example, let's say for the Marathas topic, 8th and 12th class NCERT, when you are going to read about Marathas topic, keep the 8th and 12th NCERT. First read again the 8th NCERT. Now try to highlight those pointers, which are important pointer. For example, I have also picked the NCERTs for your reference also. For example, chalo, there is this particular topic regarding the Maratha administration that I have taken. So for example, Maratha administration, they have taken the civilian administration, they have taken military administration, then the maritime supremacy, judicial system, all these things are comprehensively covered in the class 8th NCERT. So they are from the class 8th NCERT, Exploring Society, India and Beyond, grade 8, part 1. Now in that particular NCERT, when you see that this civilian administration, now this much is written, but ऐसा तो नहीं होगा कि everything has to be noted down. So in the second reading, you are trying to cover Maratha as a theme. Now from whatever you are thinking important, you just highlight. Do not write. Just highlight from here also, from here also. For example, when you are reading about the civilian administration, what you can highlight over here, that there is abolishment of the hereditary post, right? So abolishing the hereditary post, then land assignments की जगह पर salary to the government officials, right? Land assignment भी दिए and then the salary to the government officials. Then many officials were periodically transferred in order to prevent the corruptions and all, right? Then apart from that, there was pension ka provision also to the widows of the soldiers, that was also there. Now when you talk about the maritime supremacy, there was a personality mentioned over here, Kanoji Angre. So all these other things, like on what manner maritime supremacy was ensured. Similarly, military administration mein, that there was infantry, cavalry and navy, 3 important part. There were burghirs that were there, there were shiledars that were also there. Burghirs and shiledars mein, what was the difference? In the burghirs, the horses and the equipments were paid for by the state. Shiledars mein, it was paid by the soldiers themselves. So that is being ensured. Apart from that, the superiority of the European style disciplinary troop, they understood, and then they organized the army and the administration on the European style wala thing, right? And apart from that, there were certain other things that they have incorporated from the Britishers, right? Apart from that, there was judicial system also. So the point is, in every topic you are getting certain important key terms. Now next, read the Marathas also from 12th. Once you read this entirely, now you got what is the thematic understanding. For example, let's say when you are preparing Maratha, first thing may be the chronology of Maratha. So for example, when you are talking about this topic, now in your mental memory, if you are talking about the Marathas, so there may be first the chronology, that how that particular empire was established, the prominent rulers that were there. Then there was administration. Administration may be different aspects ho sakte hai. There was civil, military, then there was maritime also, there was judicial also, right? So all these things were there, covered in different headers. Now right now I'm not asking you to make the notes, but you have make a chronology that all these things, what all you have got from this particular topic, Marathas perspective from the NCERT. Now 8th, 12th NCERT combined it, and then now try to go for, in the third reading, try to go for the notes. In the notes also, do not make them too bulky. Do not try to replicate everything. Just try to write in the keyword format. For example, in the military administration, Shilidars, Bargirs, what is the difference? That's it. Administration, different ministers, for example, Amatya was there. All the other different personalities important that were there, you should write about those. So in this manner, what you are going to do, you are not going to make the notes at very first instance. You are first reading, trying to draw the linkage with the syllabus. Second thing you are doing, you are trying to do now the highlights of what is important you are thinking from the examination perspective or as a conceptual aspect, whether asked in the examination or not. Third reading mein you are doing the notes making in a thematic manner. It's not like ki class 6th NCERT notes, 7th NCERT notes. That's not going to help you at all. So the first thing that we had discussed is regarding identifying the themes from the NCERTs. Second thing is in the second reading, identifying or highlighting important aspects. And in the third reading, we can say, we can draw some notes. Now see, obviously these notes from the NCERT would be basic. There has to be some addition that will be needed and that we had discussed in this particular format. For example, there will be value added resources, there will be certain advanced resources, there will be current affairs integration. For example, let's say the Navy had changed its flag because of and adopted certain things which was part of the Maratha flag, right? In that particular case, it is becoming very important. The Maratha administration and Maratha maritime administration becomes important. How Marathas challenge different other powers, how Marathas ensured their supremacy, what were the reasons Maratha grew that fast, and there were issues that Marathas were not able to replace the Mughals. So like this, the question will automatically emerge once you will read the resources multiple times but in a strategic manner. So this is for one topic. Another topic I can talk about, let's say the 1857. Again, in the 8th NCERT, 1857 is being covered, a bit lesser detailed aspect, but in 12th NCERT, it is covered in a more detailed manner. Now combine them. First reading should be generic, where you will be identifying the syllabus mapping or with respect to identification of the themes. Then second reading, you will be drawing the interlinkages. Third reading, you will be taking certain notes. Now the notes of the 1857 are done. This will be including certain facts, concept, but there will be a need for the analytical aspect. So whenever you are drawing your notes, whenever you are preparing your notes, keep the space available in order to pose certain analytical question based upon the themes that are mentioned in the NCERT. Because see, though the NCERTs are comprehensive, yet they are the basic sources that can provide you a lot of things. Direct questions are also being asked, but there will be a need for value addition. For that, obviously, there will be classes, there will be other materials that are available. But in order to understand those material from the exam perspective, there will be a need to have better clarity with respect to the NCERTs, right? So if you are following this particular exercise from the NCERTs, this is going to solve both your problem. First, with respect to having approach towards NCERT, how you need to move forward with respect to NCERT. Like for example, let's say economy, class 9th onwards economy will be there. So you will read the class 9th NCERT, you will get certain basic concept. Then 10th mein thode or advanced, 11th mein planning and all these things, 12th mein there will be macro and the microeconomics. Then you will try to converge the things as per the topics of the economy. So through this you will get the basics of the economy. You will make some notes. For example, let's say the expenditures kya hote hai, what are the different types of the financial instrument, all these things you will get to know. Then once you will be reading your current affairs resources, for example, newspaper or the magazines, you will be in a better position to comprehend those particular resources, right? So approaches wala thing is done, and notes making also we have discussed through this entire topic. Now, I would like to show you this entire document, that how the NCERTs are arranged, right? So through this, whatever we have discussed in a theoretical manner, this will be further clear. So now the recent additions in the NCERTs is like posing the questions in the very beginning. For example, who were the Marathas? How did they manage to become the largest pan-India power before the Britishers took over? What were the features of their governance and what impact did the Maratha Empire leave in the Indian history? Now, entire chapter will be dedicated towards these three. And if you get clarity regarding these, eventually entire aspects of Maratha will be very, very much covered from the examination perspective also. Then you have to get certain analytical perspective, right? And this is from the NCERT only. Now this NCERT talks about certain flow chart. This gives you the authentic data. Why we have to refer to NCERT? This gives you the authentic data. This gives you the idea with respect to what government accepts as the correct with respect to any of the subject, right? Because sometimes what happens that there may be discrepancy with respect to different resources. In that cases, the NCERT provides you the correct and the authenticated data. So like this, some flow charts are being done regarding timelines. Similarly, like for example here, the consolidation during the time period of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Next, there will be later part in the Maratha administration when the consolidation that was there under the rule of Peshwas. So here the Peshwaship came under, and then there was a setback in the form of 1761 Battle of Panipat. Why the battles have happened in the Panipat? There is also discussion regarding that. Then there is Anglo-Maratha war, that because British power now posing a threat to different regional powers. So they have also conflicted with Marathas because Maratha was a pan-India power available at that point of time. And then eventually after third Anglo-Maratha war, the dissipation of the Maratha power was observed. So like this, it is provided in the form of flow chart. Then there are certain good maps that are also available that you can replicate directly. So for example, the initial powers of the Marathas during the time period of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and later point of time when Marathas became the Maratha Empire. So the concept like Swaraj, concepts like Samraj, all these things were provided in these particular materials. Then like these good flow charts are also being available. Chhatrapati's sovereign king, what are the different aspects of administration? There was Pradhan, Prime Minister, Sachiv, Land Revenue Minister. All these are the Asht Pradhan that are being provided in the book. Then we have talked about in the chapter end, there are questions also. Those questions also gives you an idea regarding what are the things that you have understood from the chapters, and now try to frame the answers and opinion about this. And if you have framed your opinion, and if you are clear with those things, you can take brief note also on that, right? Then later on, these particular kind of the administration related parts, so the short notes can be prepared from that, right? And then in the end, try to refer to the UPSC previous year's question, because UPSC previous year's question gives you an idea regarding what UPSC had asked, what UPSC appreciates. See, zaruri nahi hai every time the question will be from NCERT, but to some extent that can be inspired. And once these are the foundational resources, they are the must. They are the non-negotiable things. They are the things which are to start your preparation. It's not like they are referred to be at the very end. They should be referred at the very beginning, which will build your base with respect to the preparation. So the question like third battle of Panipat was fought in 1761. Why were so many empire shaking battles were fought at the Panipat? And see, right now the focus that the government is also doing on the Marathas, recently UNESCO also recognized the Maratha forts. So in that cases, there is very high chances that the Maratha related question can be asked in the upcoming examination. So in that cases, you should be prepared with these particular themes and trends. Now, once the NCERT is providing the basics for that, then that should be the must or the sure shot go for the preparation beginning, right? Now, apart from that, not from the perspective of Maratha, even from the others' perspective, like these are the direct question that UPSC asks from the NCERTs, like the rulers of the ancient India assume the title of Matta Vilasa, Vichitra Chitta and the Gunabhara, right? They have provided the exact thing was mentioned in the class 11th NCERT Introduction to the Indian Art Part 1. Similarly, with respect to economy, 2025 question, capital receipts create the liability or causes a reduction in the assets of the government. Like this, the statements are being provided in NCERT and exact pickup was from the NCERT by minor twists and turns. So if your conceptual clarity is there, then even the advanced resources will be comparatively easy to you, and also your preparation for the other things will be comparatively better, like solving the MCQ, solving the answer, having a better command over the data, fact, example, maps, a lot of other things which will be important from the examination perspective. So this is what I wanted to discuss from the perspective of approaching the NCERTs and also from the perspective of notes making from the NCERT, because these two are very, very important issues that many of the aspirants, when they are beginning their preparation, faces, right? And if you are facing difficulty with respect to decoding the syllabus, refer to the blog section at the VisionIAS portal. There will be the featured articles regarding the mains related preparation syllabus, GS 1, 2, 3, 4, all these things. Because see, before beginning or diving deep into anything, you have to aware regarding what are the dimensions of the ground. Up to what extent you have to dive into that particular thing. So आपको एक area पता होना चाहिए. In order to understand that area, the syllabus understanding is very, very important. UPSC gives 2 or 3 lines, but that particular 2 or 3 line has to be decoded in a broader light in order to make sure that what all things we have as a part of this particular syllabus can be incorporated and can be referred to from the NCERT's perspective, right? So do refer to this in order to get clarity regarding syllabus. So if I summarize this particular session, the first thing that you should be doing is to identify the syllabus. Once you had identified the syllabus, go to the NCERTs, have the first reading of NCERT, and then identify theme. Once you identify the themes, and now the themes in a subject-wise manner and with the specific resources, like which class NCERT of which particular year. Then after that, do the second reading. In the second reading, go for highlighting. Now here, in between these stages, also refer to the PYQs, because by this time one reading is done. Now you are in a position to understand PYQ, what is the demand. So this particular reading will be more effective. Once you have highlighted, now collate other resources, other NCERTs for that particular theme, and then prepare the notes. Once you are following this thing, your notes are done. Now notes should be brief. It should not be replicating directly the entire NCERT. But once the notes will be made, now the notes is subject to amendment like the constitution. So you will be changing as and when you will be encountering with any other resources that you are referring for the preparation. And eventually there will be analysis to be added. Now gradually after every reading, there might be some changes to the notes that you will be incorporating. But this is the flow of the preparation that you will be following. Believe me, if you are following this particular flow of the preparation will be solid, preparation will be having a strong foundation. If your foundation is strong, if your things with respect to the UPSC examination, if are strong, in that particular case, you will be easily sailing through this particular examination, for which we are also having this NCERT based course. So go to the website and check out regarding that particular course also. Okay? Chalo. So thank you everyone. I hope whatever I have discussed regarding the approach of NCERT is clear to you. Go to the NCERT portal and also check out the NCERT. Thank you everyone.